Welcome back. The market is actually picking up pace, so don't lose sight of that. All four indices are now once again in the green. After the early morning dip, it's sort of, all over the place for the market, but perked up by some of the large caps like HUL, ITC, holding fort, HCL Tech. There's Infosys, Wipro. So IT is making a bit of a comeback, HDFC, TCS, etc. Let's see a pullback from the lows. But Power Grid has been perking up after the government has rejected a proposal for it to acquire PFC's stake in REC. We had a chance to speak to the management as well. But Vivek is here first with more details on all that has transpired. Vivek, over to you.
Well, that's right. So Power Grid, has been one of those stocks that has been in focus for the past couple of trading sessions. First up, there was a news flow that stated that, the company may be asked to pick up PFC's stake in RNC. And this had actually led to a significant fall as far as, the stock price was concerned. The main reason for this particular fall was the fact that, brokerages had highlighted that this would lead to a valuation derating on capital allocation concerns. Also, there were worries that, the dividend yield that the stock provides of close to 6% would drop down quite drastically. In fact, Jefferies had pegged it that it would fall to around 4%. Now, yesterday what actually happened is that CNBC-TV18 actually confirmed that the government had decided that REC will continue to be a PFC company, and this means that, there would be no overhang as far as Power Grid was concerned. Citi, in fact, today has reacted to this particular development, and Citi has said that this particular clarification that we have given removes a major overhang as far as the stock price of Power Grid is concerned. In fact, they're saying that they continue to maintain a buy on Power Grid on the back of the fact that it continues to provide a safe and stable business model. In fact, they also say that the company enjoys very high ROAs, and which is why it's among their top picks.
Got it. Thanks a lot for that, Vivek, to putting all that into perspective. Well, earlier today, we caught up with Mr. R. Lakshmanan, the ED at REC, who confirmed that Power Grid's acquisition of REC is off the table as the Power Ministry clarification. Let's hear him out.
PFC acquired REC stake, what the government was holding, I think, in 2018 December. And after that, overall, REC has been functioning as a subsidiary of PFC. However, government was having direct control on REC. And in the meanwhile, there were options that were explored in terms of who else could be suited for REC. But in balance of things, I think yesterday Ministry of Power took a call that status quo would be maintained. Q2 is I think would be better than what Q1 was, and full year I think it's difficult to give a guidance, but then it should be much better than the last financial year as a whole.
All right, let's shift the spotlight to the auto space. Then Maruti Suzuki unveiled its mid-size SUV. That's a Grand Vitara. Sonia, you have bull and bear on this line. I think, are you looking at a new vehicle?
If anyone wants to go for it, I must say that the Toyota Hyryder is looking like a better option, because the Grand Vitara is 50,000 rupees more expensive than the Toyota Hyryder. And, as a brand as well, Toyota has always commanded that kind of premium. So it's going to be very interesting how this goes, how this competition moves along. But Maruti is, trying its best to plug all the gaps. It doesn't have any major SUV, mid-size SUV in this segment. And now the Grand Vitara has seen a very good response. 57,000 bookings have come through already. As I said, the pricing doesn't look very attractive, and hence there are bull and bear case scenarios. So first, let's start with the bulls. Morgan Stanley has an overweight call. They have a target price of 9839 on the stock. They say the order book is very strong and they expect market share gains for the company. Nomura has a neutral call, but they have a target price of 8970. And they also talk about how the volume growth in FY23 will be very strong for Maruti, and the market share is expected to improve to 43 to 44% by the end of the year. Now the bear case. CLSA has been a bear on Maruti for a while. They have a sell call, a target price of 7374. They say that the pricing of Grand Vitara is not very attractive, and there is so much competition in this space with, well-entrenched players like the Creta. You have the Skoda Kushaq, you have the Toyota Hyryder. So there's so much to choose from, it'll be hard for Maruti to penetrate. Kotak has retained a sell as well. Same case over there. They have a fair value of 8,150. They say that it's going to be hard to make inroads into this mid-size SUV segment. But let's see, the pie is growing quite a bit. Bull and bears are there, but for now, the stock is, I think, not doing too much.
Okay, all right. Sonia, thanks a lot for that. Well, let's shift our focus to some other stocks that are buzzing in trade. SBI Cards, that's on our radar, on the back of the company's performance in August. Abhishek joins us to fill us in with more on that. Abhishek?
Well, Nigel, there has been credit card data given out by RBI, wherein, the performance of SBI card on versus the industry average has been good, especially on total spends as well as, the credit card issued. So the total spends have grown by 1.24% month on month versus a decline of 3% that you are seeing for the industry as a whole. The total cards issued have grown by 2% month on month versus a 2.82% decline that we are seeing for the industry as a whole. However, average spends are down 0.8% month on month. This compares to about 0.2% month on month decline seen for the industry as a whole. In terms of card issuance, they have gained market share month on month to about 19% for the month of August versus 18.1% that they had in the previous month. But the smart gain that they have seen is the share in spends, wherein the market share is the highest in last 5 months, coming in at 17.4% versus 16.7%, and that is why the stock is in green today.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. That's an SBI card. But moving on, Mahindra Logistics is buzzing in trade as the company has bought Rivigo's B2B express business. Mangalam is here with all the details. Mangalam, over to you.
Well, that's correct. So there has been a positive development in Mahindra Logistics. The stock sitting with a gain of almost 3%, mildly off highs with the market. But remember, they've gone ahead and made an acquisition. Rivigo's B2B business is what they've bought for about 225 crores. Remember, Rivigo is the company that pioneered the relay logistics service. They had two arms, that was full truckload logistics as well as B2B. And in that, Mahindra has gone ahead and bought the B2B vertical. The B2B business in FY22 did revenues of around 371 crores. Of course, much higher than what we saw in FY21, but lower than what we saw in FY20. FY20 was an exceptional year for online commerce as well because of the pandemic. But importantly, Mahindra Logistics' own revenues in last year were over 4,000 crores, and in the first quarter itself was around 1,200 odd crores. So this incrementally adds about no more than 8 to 9% to their overall revenue. The bigger trigger, however, here will be the kind of leveraging that these guys can do with Rivigo's network of 250 plus processing centers, 1,000,015 square feet of land, or the warehousing area that Rivigo has. So even if they go ahead and do about 6 to 7% margins on this 371 crore revenue that Rivigo has done, it would be accretive for their return on cash, because it would mean about 10% on the 225 crores that they are deploying. The question, however, is how much can they scale up this business with their existing ecosystem.
Okay, that's on Mahindra Logistics. Thanks, Mangalam, for that. But moving on, let's slip into a quick break. Here's some great news for investors. You can now track US market action real time on Money Control. Log on to the Money Control website or the app and stay informed about all that